This is the La Sportiva Prodigio Pro. It has been one of my favorite trail shoes. I'm going to get it on foot and tell you how it feels today and tell you why I'm choosing it for a 50K race coming up this weekend. I'm going to tell you about the sizing, which is kind of goofy, so make sure if you are considering this shoe, you listen to that because I had to change my sizing pretty dramatically. With that said, before we get into too many stats or figures, let's get it on foot. All right, so we'll get these laces undone. As some of you may know, I usually wear a size 12, maybe a 12.5, and that's why the sizing conversation is so important on this shoe. The sock upper, first of all, is phenomenal. I have absolutely loved it. I've got nearly 100 miles on my pair at home, and the fit is great. You just have to make sure you get the right size. So this here is an EU size 46.5, which is a 12.5 plus US, so it's already beyond my normal larger size. And this is actually smaller. We don't have the 47, which is actually a 13, which I have at home. And even the 13, I could use a little bit extra space. So I go up an entire size. I actually wanted to put this on here at the store, even though we didn't have the 47, because they did release an update for the shoe. So I was curious if they fixed the sizing at all. Seems like no, they haven't. However, if that's the only problem and you just have to get the sizing right the first time, I am super okay with that. On foot, it feels incredible. Let's get a squish test real quick. All right, so not the squishiest shoe in the world, but for the trails, it does really nicely. We've got 35 millimeters of stack height, and it feels just like that. It doesn't feel overstated. Now, the foam is incredibly energetic, especially for a trail shoe. It's not overly soft to where you're asking for stability anywhere. It doesn't feel overly firm where your feet get really fatigued. I've done runs over 3 hours in this and it has felt good the entire time. I've also done some pretty technical trails with it and the grip is fantastic. The lug pattern is really good. You're plenty deep with the lugs. I've caught roots a couple of times, I think because of the lug pattern, which is one of the very few cons I have with it. But again, not a huge issue. I'm gonna run back to the back of the store real quick and back and just see what pops out at me. So we'll go ahead and do that. And this is where you can feel the really good job they did keeping it very lightweight. So the shoe comes in at 9 ounces and that feels about right. 9 ounces in my mind is pretty light. When it's 9 ounces and a trail shoe, that's getting really light because you have so much outsole coverage, especially on a shoe like this. This has been my go-to shoe for pretty much everything trail related that is not gravel. For gravel shoes, I've done other stuff, but let's point out a couple shoes on the wall that might be similar, and you can have an idea of what might work best for you. So with the Prodigio Pro here, this is just another colorway. We also have the Prodigio 2. If you want something a little more on the firm side, the Prodigio 2 does a great job. Honestly, La Sportiva has done a great job opening up their toe boxes here. Their Prodigio 1, for example, was a very narrow shoe. Even some of their older stuff like the Bushido, you can see there is clearly a difference here in that toe box. But some other shoes that are very good, technical running shoes, you could look at something like a Saucony Exodus Ultra 4. This is going to be a little softer and a little more stack. Something like this can be good. You do also move to Vibram Mega Grip, which frankly, I've had no problems with the La Sportiva tread. The tread has not been something that has bothered me. The grip with it has not been something that has bothered me. A Hoka Speed Goat would also be pretty similar. You've got similar stack height. Again, you've got the Vibram grip on the outsole, but even looking here, the La Sportiva is a more aggressive lug pattern, in my opinion, than the Speed Goat. And then one other option that would be interesting is a Topo Mountain Racer. So this is a little lower to the ground. You get a very wide toe box and you get some pretty deep lugs here. This would be one that you could go for if you don't mind a little more weight, a little less stack, and a very natural toe position. That said, I absolutely adore the upper on the Prodigio Pro. It just does so many things right for me. It feels really secure on my foot. I've never had any slipping issues in terms of the upper. There's plenty of room in the toe box, and it is as breathable as could be. I have enjoyed the heck out of this shoe. If you are looking for a really solid technical trail shoe that will go the distance, like a 50K this weekend, for me, absolutely take a look at mountainrunningcompany.com. You can use code JSYT10 to save 10% off your order and support an independent running shop. We do our best to make sure you guys know everything you need to know about these shoes, especially if you come in store. If you are ordering online, drop any questions you might have down below. If you have any questions for me, obviously I do a lot of running outside. This is just an opportunity for me to get an extra video out every week to talk to you guys. If you've got questions on the shoe, on other shoes on the wall, drop comments below. I'm more than happy to answer them, but I can't tell you how much I have really enjoyed this shoe. This is another one that I bought with my own money and couldn't be happier with it. So with that said, I hope you guys all have a great day. Do something good for your bodies, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.